Beneath the dark soil of a German hillside where roots twist like the veins of the earth and the air smells of damp leaves and old secrets, a circle of ancient bronze once lay hidden for over 3,000 years. It was buried there long before Rome rose, before the pyramids had weathered even half their years, before the names of its makers could be written in any book. For centuries, it rested unseen, listening to the shifting of the seasons above. Then, in the summer of 1999, two treasure hunters, armed with metal detectors, swept across the ground in search of forgotten relics. What they found was not gold or jewels, but something far stranger: a round disc, about the size of a dinner plate, corroded green with age but inlaid with gleaming gold shapes that caught the light like stars trapped in stone. To the untrained eye, it looked almost like a piece of art from some fantasy realm, an ancient star map perhaps, but the truth, as we've since learned, is even more extraordinary. This was not just decoration, it was a tool, a calendar, a story of the heavens told by people we once thought had no such knowledge. The Nebra Sky Disk, as it came to be called, is about 30 centimeters across, made of bronze, with thin gold foil inlaid into its surface. Against its deep green patina, the gold glows like embers in a midnight sky. The designs are simple but unmistakable: a crescent moon, a round golden sun, or perhaps a full moon, and a scattering of dots believed to be stars. On the right, a cluster of 7 dots appears to represent the Pleiades, the Seven Sisters, a star group known to cultures across the world. Along the sides of the disk, 2 curved golden arcs hug the edges, like the embrace of an invisible horizon. It is, by current dating, about 3,600 years old. Crafted during the European Bronze Age, around 1600 BCE. That makes it the oldest known concrete depiction of the cosmos in human history. Older than the astronomical records of Babylon, older than Greek star charts, older even than many of Egypt's celestial inscriptions. And that fact changes everything we thought we knew about prehistoric Europe. Because before the disk was found, scholars believed the people of Central Europe in the Bronze Age were, in terms of astronomy, simple sky watchers. They might have noted the sun's path for planting crops, or tracked the moon's cycles for hunting. But detailed astronomical knowledge, maps of stars, calendars aligned with the heavens, that was something we attributed to the great civilizations of the Near East. The Nebra Sky Disk shattered that assumption. Let's imagine for a moment the world in which it was created. Europe in 1600 BCE was a patchwork of tribes, connected by trade routes that snaked through forests and along rivers. Bronze weapons and ornaments gleamed in the hands of chieftains. Settlements clustered around hilltops for defense, their people bound together by ritual, kinship, and the rhythm of the seasons. And above them, the same sky we know today. Though without the haze of cities, the stars would have been an ocean of fire each night, so vivid they seemed close enough to touch. The people who made the Nebra Sky Disk were part of this world. We don't know their names. We don't know the words they used for sun, moon, or stars, but we know they understood them. The Pleiades, for example, have long been used as a seasonal marker by agricultural societies. When they disappear from the sky in the spring, it signals the time for planting. The crescents and golden arcs on the disk are thought to align with the positions of the sun at solstices, meaning the disk could have been used to track the solar year. Some researchers believe it functioned like a portable guide, helping its owner to reconcile lunar months with the solar year. Without that adjustment, a lunar calendar drifts out of sync with the seasons. Imagine trying to plan a harvest while the months slowly slip into the wrong weather. The disk's imagery could have been a visual reminder of when to add extra days to keep the seasons aligned. And this is where the mystery deepens. The level of astronomical understanding encoded in the Nebra Sky Disk suggests either independent development or contact with cultures already versed in such knowledge. Could Bronze Age Europeans have traded not only amber and tin, but also ideas, perhaps reaching as far as Mesopotamia or Egypt? The gold in the disk, studies show, likely came from Cornwall in Britain, while the tin for the bronze may have traveled from even farther afield. The disk is, in itself, proof of a connected world, one where distant lands influenced each other in ways we're only beginning to map. Its story doesn't end with its creation. Over centuries, it appears to have been altered. X-ray analysis reveals that the disk was modified at least 3 times. Additional arcs and even a curved sunboat symbol may have been added later, reflecting shifts in belief or function. By the time it was finally buried, it may have been as much a sacred object as a practical tool, something imbued with the power of the cosmos it depicted. Why bury it at all? Some suggest it was an offering, a way to return the knowledge of the heavens back to the earth or the gods. Others believe it could have been hidden deliberately, perhaps in a time of social upheaval, when sacred artifacts were concealed to protect them from destruction or theft. The hill where it was found, Middelburg, near the town of Nebra, was likely a site of ceremonial importance, its summit providing a panoramic view of the horizon. From there, you can watch the sun rise and set across the rolling hills, its path marking the same arcs shown on the disk. When the Nebra Sky Disk finally resurfaced in 1999, it didn't go straight to a museum. The two treasure hunters who found it did so illegally, and the artifact passed through the black market. For a time, it was hidden again, moving between private hands, its true significance unknown. Only after a police sting operation in 2002 did the disk come into the care of archaeologists, who recognized it as something extraordinary. Since then, it has been studied relentlessly, each test peeling back another layer of mystery. Radiocarbon dating of associated artifacts, like swords and axes found at the same site, placed it firmly in the early Bronze Age. Microscopic analysis confirmed the gold was ancient, not a modern forgery. And yet, even with all we've learned, there remain unanswered questions. Was it made by a single gifted artisan, or by a workshop with specialized knowledge? How was the astronomical information encoded? Through observation alone, or was it part of an oral tradition stretching back generations? And perhaps most tantalizing of all, how widespread was this knowledge? Is the Nebra Sky Disk a lone survivor of a larger tradition, or the only one of its kind? Standing before it today, in its climate-controlled display in Halle, Germany, you can see the way it pulls the eye. The gold still catches the light in that same uncanny way it must have for its original owner, reflecting a knowledge of the sky and the passage of time that feels almost timeless. It is humbling to think that when you look at those golden dots, you are seeing the stars as someone saw them more than 3 millennia ago, from a world that no longer exists, yet looked up at the same night sky we do. Perhaps that's the true power of the Nebra Sky Disk. It bridges the unimaginable gap between us and them, not with words or monuments, but with a shared language of light and dark, of the moon's curve and the sun's path, of the stars scattered like seeds across the vault of night. It reminds us that curiosity about the heavens is not a modern trait. It is as old as our species. Thank you for joining me tonight, for walking that ancient hillside in your imagination, for holding the weight of the Nebra Sky Disk in your mind's hands. What do you think? Was this Bronze Age Europe's first scientific instrument, or a sacred talisman of the sky? Could there be other disks still sleeping beneath the soil, waiting to rewrite our understanding of history? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear them. And if you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, please like, comment, and share. It truly helps keep these stories alive.